what time about were you called to come out to the scene?
I was requested at about 12:20 a.m. to respond to Tampa General.
Now, when you get called to come out to a scene to be a crime scene investigator, who calls you to come? Is it like a patrol deputy or is a detective involved at that point?
Typically, it's a detective.
When you arrive after being called to a crime scene to be a crime scene investigator, do you typically meet with a detective before you conduct any of your duties as a crime scene investigator?
Yes,
On August 29th, or the morning of August 30th, when you arrived at the scene for this case, did you meet with a detective?
I did.
Who was that detective?
At the hospital, it was Detective Gibson,
So what hospital are we talking about?
Tampa General.
When you arrived at Tampa General Hospital, you meet with Detective Gibson. What do you do after you talk with Detective Gibson?
He requested that photos and evidence be collected of two individuals,
Who are the two individuals?
Jayla and Jermaine Bass.
Okay, and at the time, did you take photos at that scene?
Yes.
Then what did you do after that?
I responded to the Heritage Club Drive residents, to assist my lead CSI, Shannon Bader.
When you arrived at the Heritage Club residence and you were assisting, what does it mean to assist the lead crime scene investigator? Help us understand, what does that mean?
So usually the lead is the one that is taking the photographs, the one marking evidence, collecting evidence. I am behind her doing presumptive swabs, assisting with packaging her swabs, or packaging her evidence further and getting it out of her way, or creating a scene diagram.
In this case, when you went to the Heritage Club townhome, were you asked to create a crime scene diagram?
I was.
Explain to the jury, how do you make a crime scene diagram? And do you just look around and sketch it out? What's the process to make that?
So we use something called a Faro scanner, and the easiest way to describe it is if you're looking to rent an apartment or buy a home, sometimes they have 3D virtual tours. These scanners are something similar to that. So we create a 3D virtual tour of the scene, and from that I can create a 2D diagram that is computer generated.
And did you do that in this case?
I did.
Your Honor, at this point, I'm asking to, or I'm going to show the witness. This has been pre-marked as State's Exhibit 25. Do you recognize this?
Yes.
Is this a fair and accurate representation of the diagram that you created in this case at the Heritage Club address?
Yes.
But at this time, I'm asking you to enter into evidence and publish what's been pre-marked for identification as State's Exhibit 25.
All right, it's been admitted.
Permission to publish?
Yes.
So I'm placing State's Exhibit 25, there's two pieces of paper. I'm placing 25A on the Elmo. So if you notice, I'm pointing to the bottom left corner of 25A where we're noticing the words front door. Help us understand, would this be the bottom floor or the top floor when you went to make this diagram?
This would be the bottom floor.
So if you're entering from the parking lot, you're coming through where my finger is pointing right there where it says front door.
Yes.
Immediately to our left, we see what?
A kitchen?
The rectangle, excuse me, right to the right of the word kitchen. What is that representing?
The kitchen island?
Moving along, we're going further. My finger is pointing to the words dining area. Right above that, we're seeing what looks like to be a table and chairs. Is that representative of
Yes.
table and chairs? Okay. What is just beyond that at the top of your diagram? We see two squares with W/D. Tell the jury what that represents.
It's a washer-dryer closet.
Now we're going forward into the living room. It looks like we're seeing number 1 and number 2. What are those representing?
They are evidence markers.
Okay, so, and it looks like number 1 is to the left of a longer rectangle. What is that representing, that black longer rectangle? at the bottom, just off to the center to the right.
It is a couch.
It looks like evidence marker 2 is just between two like darker squares to the right of the rectangle. What is that representing?
Like sofa chairs?
And to the right of that, we see a little sketch. Can you explain to the jury what we see to the right where my finger is? It's all the way to the right bottom right corner.
It was a little pink, like Barbie car, like that you could sit and drive in.
Like a child's toy?
Yeah.
Now moving across the room, we see, what are we looking at right here? It looks like another rectangle. I'm pointing to the top center, almost off to the right. There's a rectangle and it looks like it has some lines like a grid. What is that representing?
Those are stairs.
So moving to 25B that I'm placing on the Elmo now, is it safe to say that the sketch diagram of 25B represents the upper level or the second floor of the townhome?
Yes.
So on the bottom left, we're looking at, do those also represent the stairs where my finger is pointing the bottom left?
Yes, they do.
So you're walking up, it looks like you immediately run into, it's white, it's the outline of like a rectangle with a number 3 next to it. Explain to the jury, what is number 3 representative of?
A cabinet or a shelf that was at the top of the stairs.
Right next to that, we see what looks like hallway, and then to the right of that, it looks like a line going to the right, and there's a series of small dots that connect it to the left. What is that representative of?
That is the hallway going into the front bedroom, which was the children's bedroom.
When you walk in, we're seeing a couple of different shapes, and we're seeing a couple of different words. So we're looking here to the left, there is a rectangle with 2 squares or 2 rectangles on the other sides of it, and it says dollhouse. Tell us what that means.
It was a dollhouse, like a Barbie dollhouse, that was in front of the bed.
The bed that we're looking at here to the left, it looks like we see a top rectangle and then a lower rectangle that is visible from the top aerial view. Explain to us why can I see the bottom one even though I can see the top one as well?
It was a double bunk bed with a larger bed at the bottom.
So what did it look like? Maybe it was like a twin over full or a twin over king. They're different sizes.
Yes, they were different sizes.
Gotcha. Now we're looking at, we can see on the top a number to the left. It looks like B2. Do you see that right there?
Yes.
What is that representative of?
It was a marker of, I believe it was a suspected bullet hole.
Okay, and we see also the numbers. It looks like on the top bunk we see number 6, number 11, number 8, number 10, and number 9. What is that representative of?
Those are all evidence markers.
Number 5, we see with a line. Is that being attributed, number 5, to an evidence marker?
Yes.
And would that be on the top or the bottom bunk?
I believe it was the bottom bunk.
Okay. Now, looking over to the right, we see anytime we see these numbers, is it safe to say those are evidence numbers?
Yes.
So we see what looks like an evidence number 4. Tell us where that was located or what it was around.
It was around 2 sets of TVs, and it appeared to be like a chair, and it was in the corner.
So this line that we talked about earlier with the series of dotted lines before that, does that represent like the doorway?
Yes.
So if you're exiting through this doorway from the children's bedroom with the bunk bed, what's immediately to the right?
A bathroom.
And is that what we see here to the right where like the toilet, and it looks like something in front of the toilet, a shower, and a vanity area?
Yes.
Now walking down this hallway, it looks like there's a doorway to another room. What is that entering?
The master suite, master bedroom.
When you enter this doorway immediately to the right, what do we see?
Another bathroom.
Now, without any further doors, if you keep walking, you walk into what looks like the master bedroom. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, we see to the right a rectangle up against it. Looks like the wall that separates the bathroom from the master bedroom. Is that representative of a dresser?
Yes.
We see several evidence markers, 12, 13, 14, and 18, or 16. Oh yeah, no, that's 18. Are those representative of evidence that were found in those locations on the dresser?
Yes.
looking upwards to the right, we see 15. Is that an evidence marker found on another piece of furniture?
Yes, it was another dresser.
Another dresser, okay. Then we see the bed, we see evidence marker 17. Is that representative of a piece of evidence that was found on the bed?
Yes.
Now, when we're looking at both of these, 25A and 25B, is the purpose of doing these two diagrams so that every piece of physical evidence that's found at the scene is representative on this diagram?
Yes.
Okay. Now, after, one second, let me just return this to the clerk. After you're at the Heritage Club address and you document this scene of the physical evidence that's found while you're assisting crime scene investigator Bader, did you have an occasion to go to a hospital where another victim, in this case Jermaine Bass, who we call JJ, was located?
Yes.
Did you have an occasion to take photographs of JJ and his injuries?
Yes.
And I'm showing you what's been pre-marked for identification as states 27A through D. Do you recognize these photos?
Yes.
Is this a fair and accurate representation of what the child victim JJ looked like at the time that you photographed him?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time I offer into evidence what's been pre-marked for identification as states 27A through D as states 27A through D.
They're admitted
Do I
already.
have permission to publish?
Yep.
Thank you, Judge. I'm putting on the Alma what's been pre-marked for identification as what's been entered into evidence as states 27A. What hospital was he located?
He was at TGH as well in the PICU,
What's the PICU, do you know?
the Pediatric Intensive Care Unit.
When you walked in, this wound that we're seeing, for the record, on 27A, the photo is depicting what looks like the ear of the child. And up to the right, we see a wound. Is that his left ear?
Yes.
And I'm putting 27B on the Elmo. Often in these photos, we see these measurements used. Can you explain to the jury why and when you decide to use these measurements in photos?
When we take our series of photos, we usually do overall mid-range close-up, and what you're seeing are close-ups, and then with our close-ups, we add scales to give a relative size to show how large an item is or how small an item is.
This injury on 27B, is it the same injury that's depicted on what we just looked at on 27A?
It is.
I'm placing on the Elmo 27C. Tell the jury what we're looking at on 27C.
That is the JJ's right pinky finger.
An injury to his right pinky finger. I'm putting on the Elmo what's been entered into evidence as 27D. Is this the same photo that we just looked at, but the only difference as this one having the markers so we know how big it is?
Yes.
One moment. So we have the injury to JJ, the left side of his head right above his ear, and then we have the injury to his right pinky that we just saw in those photos, correct?
Yes.
Judge, may I just have a moment?
Yes.
I don't have any further questions.
All right. Cross?
No questions.
All right, you can step down, thank you.
Thank you.
She released from her subpoena?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Call your next witness.
Crime scene investigator Shannon Bader.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon. If you would, please introduce yourself and spell your name for us.
Hello, my name is Shannon Bader, Shannon, last name Bader, Bader.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How long where do you work?
I work for the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office as a crime scene investigator
Tell the jury, how long have you worked at HCSO as a crime scene investigator?
for about 3 years.
On August 29th of 2022, did you work as a crime scene investigator with Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office?
Yes.
When did you get hired?
Well, with the Sheriff's Office in 2019 and crime scene 2021.
Okay, so at the time of August 29th of 2022, tell the jury how many times you have been called to a crime scene as a crime scene investigator to document.
Probably at least a dozen times.
When you go to a crime scene, help us understand as a crime scene investigator, how do you decide what to document and what not to document?
Basically, we work with a crime scene detective.
When you arrived at the Heritage Grove address associated with this case to do your investigation, did you meet with a detective at that time?
Yes.
Who did you meet with?
Detective Clay Hobelman.
Do you guys walk through the scene together and have some sort of understanding before you start documenting?
Yes.
Did you do that in this case?
Yes, I did.
When you arrived, tell them what you saw.
So I walked through, it is a townhome that when you walk in, the kitchen is on your left, there's a living room area, then you walk up the stairs, there's a bedroom to your right, there's a bathroom kind of in the hallway area. There is then a master bedroom in the front, also with a bathroom inside.
Tell us what you're doing when you first walk through and during your process of documenting.
So first I walk through and I do a walkthrough of the scene. And then what I do is take overall photographs, which are basically photographs of the house and everything as is when I get there.
When you walk through and you're working with a detective to decide how to document, what do you use to place next to items that you see that may be of evidentiary value?
Evidence markers.
What do those evidence markers look like?
So I have yellow cones, or I also use green scale markers or yellow scale markers.
So tell us the difference between the scale markers and the cones. The cones, are they like physical cones that you can place next to something?
Yes,
What about the green and yellow scale markers? Are those like the cones or are they something different?
there's something else. They're basically like sticker scale rulers.
Do they all represent the same thing when they're used in one crime scene?
In this case, particularly, I use the yellow evidence markers to document items of evidentiary value of physical items that I was collecting. I use the green scale markers to document areas of red substances, and then I use the yellow scale markers to document any damage that I saw.
So yellow evidence markers were for physical things.
Yes,
The green scales, which are like stickers, that was used to document red substance you saw.
yes,
And the yellow stickers were used for what?
for damages.
Damage, okay. Judge, do I have permission to publish what's been entered as states 22A through EEEE?
Yes.
I'm placing on the Elmo states 22A. Tell us, when you first walk into the apartment or the townhome, is this what you see?
Yes.
What are we looking at in this photo?
So this is the living room area. The front door is behind me and the back door is in front of me. And this is, you could see evidence marker 1, and then on the floor should be green scale marker A.
So the cone of evidence marker 1 indicates to us that there was something physical next to it. What was physical next to it? Do you remember?
Yes, this was the ACE bandage clip.
Okay. Now on the floor, you told us that the green scale stickers represent red substance. Is that what's notated on the floor right here?
Yes,
We're looking at 22B. Is this a close-up of that green sticker that we just saw?
yes it is.
And if we zoom in, oh, zoom in, the red substance that's depicted on the floor, you can kind of see it in like the wood graining. Is that what you deemed of evidentiary value to put the measure sticker next to it?
Yes.
We're looking at 22C. So when you first walk into the apartment, we saw evidence marker 1 was a couch. This evidence marker 2, are these 2 chairs? Was that just on the other side of the couch as you're walking into the room?
Yes.
Tell us what physical is next to evidence marker 2.
This is a blue cell phone.
We're looking at 22D. When you go to walk up the stairs, are these green stickers? We see 1, 2, 3 in this photo. What do you see on those green stickers, and what was the purpose of placing them there?
These are more areas of red substances as you're walking up the stairs on the wall. That should be green scale C, and then D and E up there.
I'm placing 22E on the Elmo. Now we're seeing a close-up, and if you zoom in, there was a green evidence sticker that we can see. It says red substance C that you just referred to. Also depicted, if we see a green sticker here to the left on one of the staircases. Why did you place that evidence marker there?
There's a red substance on that stair.
We're looking at 22F. Tell me the vantage point of this photo.
So this is kind of looking up. I'm standing in the middle area of the stairwell, and you're looking up to the landing.
We see a green marker on the left. Was that to document and mark a red substance as well?
Yes.
I'm placing on the Elmo 22G. At this point, is this as if you had walked up to the very top of the stairs and you're looking ahead?
Yes.
Now, we can see a yellow evidence marker 3 in this view. Tell the jury what is immediately to the right of the physical evidence marker 3.
This is a gauze pad.
I'm placing 22H on the Elmo. Is this just a closer up view of that gauze pad?
Yes.
I'm placing on the Elmo 22I. Which room are we looking into?
This is the kids' bedroom.
So, I want to zoom in. I see a green evidence marker on the left side of the doorway. You can see the brass or metal, door hinge to the left. Why did you place that green evidence marker on the doorway right there?
There was an area of red substance there.
Now, on the other side, the green area that we just looked at, that's not the side that the door is connected to, correct?
Correct.
So the area where I'm pointing on the right side of the photo, where immediately to the right of that, it looks like there's like an open closet right there. That's where the door is attached to, correct? So it opens up inward.
Yes.
Now on 22J, which I'm placing on the Elmo, is this the same doorway that we're looking at, but we're looking at the actual side of the door?
Yes.
And I see an evidence marker in the middle. It's green. Tell us what that represents.
The red substance on the door.
Now we're zooming in. Tell the jury and explain for the record. Everything's written down. What color's the door?
White.
So the spots that we're seeing in this photo, is that the red substance that you deemed should be marked with that green marker?
Yes.
I'm placing 22K on the Elmo. We see in the bottom right-hand corner a silver door handle. Is that the silver door handle on the door from the previous photo we were looking at?
Yes.
So when we're walking into the room, is this the children's room that we're walking immediately into?
Yes.
In the middle of the room, tell the jury, I'm pointing to a circle here that has like pink around it, and tell them what it is.
Trampoline.
And immediately in front of that, we see a white rectangle. What was that?
A pillow.
We see a green evidence marker on the pillow, and I'm going to zoom in so that we can see it a little bit better. What color is the pillow?
White.
And we can see that there is a red substance on the pillow. Is that why you chose to place that evidence marker there?
Yes.
Immediately behind the trampoline, it looks like, is that a dresser?
Yes.
I'm placing 22L on the Elmo. We see on the right side of this photo, a brown, it looks like the same dresser you just pointed out in the photo before, is that correct?
Yes.
Tell the jury there is, what's in the middle where the green marker is that we see and that I'm pointing to right now.
That is another red substance on the floor.
Now, we're looking at 22M. Are these the same monitors that we're looking at here in 22L?
Yes.
So as we walk over and we take a better look at 22, or at the monitors that were on 22L, on 22M, what is the yellow evidence marker signifying?
This is marking the red cell phone that's on the ground.
22N, I'm placing on the Elmo. Tell the jury what the purpose of the green sticker is.
This is marking the red substance on the ground.
I'm putting on the Elmo 22O. What are we seeing here? We see something in the doorway.
The dollhouse.
Was that there all along, or was that moved during the course of the investigation?
It was moved.
Where was it originally?
Up against that pink house that's against the bunk bed.
So I'm pointing to the right where I see gray framing. Is that the gray framing of the bunk bed you're talking about?
Yes.
Immediately to the left of that, we see like a darker hot pink that looks like some sort of child's house. Are you indicating that the one on the left was pushed up against?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this marker 7, what is that indicating?
There's a piece of a gun holster in the, I guess, baby holder.
Like some sort of like baby doll
Yeah.
toy. Okay, we're looking at 22F. I'm placing on the Elmo. Is this a closer up of the evidence marker you were just discussing?
Yes.
And once we zoom in, what do we see inside of this baby doll accessory here?
That is a piece of a gun holster.
A piece of a gun holster. 22Q. What are we looking at here?
This is the top of the bunk where the stairs are, and there's 3 areas of red substances marked.
So we see one on the left side here of the top of the ladder, correct?
Yes.
One up at the top corner where you would like walk up the ladder, and then one immediately to the left of that.
Yes.
We're looking at 22R. Tell us what we're looking at in 22R.
This is the top bunk where you could now see a green scale marker. You can kind of still see the one in the corner. 2 areas of damage marked, and then yellow evidence marker 6.
I think this is the first time that we see the yellow markers. So you said the yellow stickers represent damage. So, for instance, we see damage A. What does that look like to you? Is that in the drywall?
Yes, that's the hole in the wall.
So we see, I'm zooming in for the record on damage. I just zoomed in on damage A. Now I'm zooming in on damage B. What are we looking at in damage B right here?
That's damage on one of the bed posts on the top bunk.
And then we see another green sticker right above the bed frame on the far left. What is that indicating?
That is marking a red substance on that wall.
So on that wall, tell us what color's the wall?
White.
Any of the spotting that we're seeing right there, is that what you deem to be red substance?
Yes.
Oops, wrong way, I'm sorry. Now we see on the right side of this picture, a physical yellow evidence marker number 6. Tell the jury what the physical evidence marker number 6 is representing.
That is representing a casing.
22S, I'm placing on the Elmo. This is a similar view as the one before, would you agree?
Yes.
The difference is we see a marker on the mattress. Tell us what the marker on the mattress indicates.
That is showing the red substance on the mattress.
We're seeing on 22T, tell us what we see.
These are 2 red substances on the wall, and this is a view from the bottom bunk.
So, and to reference this, I want to put on 22U. So in 22U, what are we looking at?
So this is the bunk bed. You could see the top and the bottom in this photo.
Explain to the jury so that they can understand What size were the beds?
The exact number I do not recall.
But was it a queen over a queen?
Oh, a
Was it
twin.
A twin on the top, and on the bottom, did the mattress fit the frame perfectly on top?
On the bottom, no.
On the top,
On the top, yes.
okay, and on the bottom, no. So help us understand, was the mattress too big or too small for the frame on the bottom?
On the bottom, it was too small.
Now, what are we seeing in, we're looking at 22U specifically, and I want to focus your attention. We can see that there is a mattress on the bottom, but then it looks like some sort of item behind the mattress, flat up against the wall. What was that item?
A giant teddy bear.
And what did it look like the purpose of the giant teddy bear being between the wall and the mattress to you?
Objection, speculation.
Sustained.
When you were at the scene looking at the giant teddy bear, did it fit between the mattress and the wall?
Yes.
Was the mattress touching the wall at that time?
No.
Now, I want to refer back to 22T. There's two evidence markers here. Oop. What are they representing to you? We see one that says red substance Q. And it looks like a straight line down. What did it look like to you when you were there in person and had a chance to look at it up close?
It was the red substance on the wall, and then next red sub R, also a red substance, both consistent with blood.
Now, we just talked about you, so let's go to V. This gives us a better view of evidence marker 6 that we talked about before. What are we looking at that's immediately to the right of evidence marker 6?
This is the casing on the bed.
22W. Is this the same casing we just viewed as next to evidence marker 6?
Yes.
I'm placing on the Elmo 22X. Is this the top bunk or the bottom bunk?
The top bunk.
And are these the same damage marks, A and B, that you pointed to before, and red substance marks that we've seen in other photos?
Yes.
The pillow, was that on the mattress when you were taking photos?
Yes.
I'm placing 22Y. Is this a closer up of the red substance we talked about before, right next to the teddy bear on the bottom bunk?
Yes.
22Z. Tell us what we're looking at in this photo.
This is the bathroom that is next to the kid's bedroom.
Now, on the far right of this photo, where my finger is located, the far right, we can see an open door. Tell the jury, where does that door lead to?
That door is the child's bedroom.
So, the door that I'm pointing to in the middle of the photograph that we can see that's open, the wall above here that I'm pointing to, which is right next to the tile from the shower for the record, that wall is shared by this bathroom and the children's room, correct?
Yes, correct.
22AA, I'm placing on the elbow. What are we looking at here on the right? We see an evidence marker,
This is the yellow scale marker documenting damage on the wall.
and it's labeled damage A1. We also see a marker on the left side. It looks like there's a shower curtain rod and a shower curtain. What is documented here on this side?
That is documenting damage on the shower curtain.
So I'm looking at 22BB, I'm placing on the Elmo. Damage A1, is that on the wall that we just looked at in the bathroom?
Yes.
Damage A2 in 22CC, is that the damage to the shower curtain that you were just talking about?
Yes.
I'm placing on the Elmo 22DD. Damage A2 that you just discussed on the shower curtain, is that the same one?
Yes.
Now, what are we looking at here on the left? Tell us, describe to us what that damage is and where it was located.
That's damage A3, and it's in the shower on the wall.
We're We're looking at 22E, I'm placing on the Elmo. Is that the same damage you just described?
Yes,
What's located within the damage that we see on this photo?
that would be a projectile.
22FF, I'm placing on the Elmo. So we just left the bathroom, we're not in the bathroom anymore. Where are we right now looking at the damage that is depicted in this photo?
This is the top bunk railing.
I'm placing on the Elmo 22GG. Tell us the vantage point of this photo. I see a marker that says A1 and damage B2. Where are you standing when this photo was taken?
So now I'm standing inside that bathroom that is next to the child's bedroom, and we're looking at the wall that is shared with the child's bedroom.
Is this the same bathroom that just showed the damage that was to the shower curtain and the projectile that was found in the shower tile that we just looked at?
Yes,
Same room.
yes,
We're looking at 22HH. We see damage B2. Again, is that the same bathroom that we've been discussing?
yes.
22II. Tell us what we're looking at. Which room are we in now?
This is the kid's bedroom, and this is a view of the bottom bunk and where the stairs start.
When we're looking at this bottom bunk, we see what looks like a pink and purple blanket. Behind that, we see kind of a big lump back there. Is that the teddy bear you were talking about earlier?
Yes,
We see an evidence marker number 5. What is that significant?
that is another casing on the bed on the bottom bunk.
We're looking at 22JJ. What's the purpose of this photo?
This is showing the height of how high the bunk beds are.
So we see what looks like a measuring tool here on the left, and it looks like the top portion of the railing on the top bunk is 5 feet and 5 inches. Is that fair?
Yes,
I'm placing on the Elmo 22KK. Tell the jury what we're looking at here. We see 3 evidence markers, 8, 9, and 10.
these are marking 3 more casings.
Now, this photo, is this of the top bunk or is this the bottom bunk?
The top bunk.
22LL. Is this a close-up? We're looking at 8 right here with a casing right next to it. This is just a close-up of the casing located next to that
Yes,
marker. What are we looking at 22MM?
that is the head stamp of that casing.
What about 22NN? We're looking at evidence marker 9 and 10.
Also the casings.
So this casing that I'm pointing to more in the middle, is that attributed to evidence marker number 9?
Yes,
And the casing that's to the left where it looks like the empty cylinder is facing upward towards the ceiling, is that attributed to evidence marker number 10?
yes,
22BB. Nope, sorry. 2200, I'm placing on the Elmo. Is this the head stamp? Hold on. There we go. Is this the head stamp of the shell casing attributed to evidence marker number 9?
yes.
23 PP. What are we looking at?
That is the casing at evidence marker number 10.
22 QQ. Tell the jury what we're looking at.
That is the head stamp of the casing at evidence marker 10.
You've used the term head stamp a couple of times. I don't want to blow over that. Can you explain to the jury, when you're using the term head stamp, what does that mean?
So basically the casing, it is the top of the casing that has the imprint and the firing impression on it.
We're looking at 22RR and placing on the Elmo. Tell us the significance of the evidence marker. We see 11.
Evidence marker 11 is showing the bedding on the top bunk.
We're looking at 22SS. I'm placing on the Elmo. Help us get oriented. We've been into the bathroom, we've been into the children's bedroom, we've been downstairs. Where are we now in 22SS?
So now we're in the master bedroom.
22TT, I'm placing on the Elmo. Is this the same master bedroom?
Yes,
help us understand the vantage point. I see in the middle, I see what looks like an open door right to the right of the silver dresser depicted in this photo. Is that the door that you would use to enter and exit this master bedroom?
Yes.
22 UU, I'm placing on the Elmo. Help us understand what we're looking at here.
This is the dresser in that master bedroom, and there is a live round next to evidence marker 12.
I'm gonna zoom in. What does a live round mean?
It is a round that has not been fired by a gun.
To the left of evidence marker 12, there is a silver object that I'm pointing to. Is that the live round you just spoke about?
Yes.
I'm placing on the Elmo 22 VV. What are we looking at in 22 VV?
That is the head stamp of the live round.
22 WW. I see evidence marker 13 and 14. Help us understand what they are attributed to.
This is that drawer in that dresser that we just looked at, and 13 is a wallet, and 14 is a gun.
So let's go back to, this is 22 TT. In the back, we see evidence markers 13 and 14 and a drawer to the top left that's open. Is that what we're looking at, just like a top aerial view here in 22 WW?
Yes.
I'm placing on the Elmo 22XX. Is this a close-up of the two items you just described?
Yes.
So we have 13 attributed to a wallet, and then 14 attributed to the item that we see right here, which looks like the top of a handgun. Is that correct?
Yes.
22 YY. I'm placing on the Elmo. Is 22 YY the same firearm that's right here by evidence marker 14?
Yes.
In this photo, it's facing the right. I'm placing 22Z on the Elmo. Is this the same firearm?
Yes.
It's facing the other way.
Yes.
22A. I'm placing on the Elmo. What are we looking at here?
That is a magazine that was also in that drawer.
Was it in the drawer because it was in the firearm, or was it separate from the firearm?
It was separate.
Okay. Now we're looking at 22B. Orient the jury. Where are we when we find evidence marker 15?
This is next to that dresser, and it is a phone inside of a backpack.
So are we still inside the master bedroom when we find and locate this backpack that's depicted in next to evidence marker 15?
Yes, we are.
22C. I'm placing on the Elmo. Orient us to this photo. It looks like there's a hand depicted in the photo. Is that your hand?
Yes.
What are you holding in your hand in 22CCC?
A projectile.
A projectile. Where was this projectile found?
In the wall of the bathroom, sharing that wall that shares the child's bedroom.
So we just left the master bedroom, so let's back up. 22CCC, where this hole in the wall is that from the vantage point of standing in the bathroom where this wall shares the room with the children's bedroom?
Yes.
22D, I'm placing on the Elmo. Is that the same projectile we just saw, just a close-up version?
Yes.
22DDD. Did I just say that? 22EEE. I'm placing on the Elmo. What are we looking at?
This is the top bunk mattress after we cut it open.
What was the purpose of cutting the mattress open from the top up?
We had noticed a hole in it.
22FFF. What are we looking at here?
Now we ripped away all the foam inside, and now we're looking inside the coils of the mattress.
So in this photo that we're looking at right here, it looks as though this mattress is now on the bottom bunk. Help us understand
So because the mattress was on top, in order to just examine it better, we did bring it down to the bottom bunk.
What are we looking at in 22GGG?
You can kind of see the projectile that it's under all the coiling in the mattress.
22HHH, what are we looking at?
That is that projectile.
So this projectile was found in the mattress that was located on the top of the bed.
Yes.
What are we looking at in 22HHH?
This is back to the master bedroom, and it is a security camera on a nightstand.
22III, we see an evidence marker 17.
That is marking that Adidas bag.
When you first initially walked into the master bedroom, was that Adidas bag sitting on the bed, or was it located elsewhere first?
It was located elsewhere.
Where was it located?
In the master closet.
What was the purpose of taking it down from the master closet and onto this bed to photograph it?
This was after the detectives had done their search, and it had found that it was of evidentiary value. So then I took the photograph of it.
Okay, so 22JJJ. What are we looking at in here? What is this the contents of?
This is the contents of that bag at evidence marker 17.
So the same bag that we see in 22III, are you saying that this is the contents of that same bag in 22JJJ?
Yes.
Now, we're looking at 22LLL, placing it on the LL. Oops. It looks like a hand is holding some sort of measuring device. Help us understand, why are there times that you use a measuring device, like a ruler in this case, to show the height of something?
This is showing the height of the damage to show how high it is off the ground.
In this photo, we see an evidence tag to the left that's labeled damage A1. Right above that, we see something poking out of the damage that we've seen before. We've never seen something that thus far out of these photos poking out of the damage. Help the jury understand what's poking out of damage A1.
That is called a trajectory rod.
What's the purpose of using trajectory rods when you are documenting a crime scene?
A trajectory rod is used to show a possible flight of path through 2 areas of damage or more.
So for instance, if you have a crime scene where it looks like you have what some may call a through and through, is a rod helpful in that situation to document the trajectory to show in fact if it was a through and through?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we see damage A1, that there's a rod there. We're looking at, also for the record, would you agree with me that the damage A1 is just about 5 feet 6 inches high?
Yes.
So now we're looking at 22MMM. Oh, I guess it would be helpful to just make sure that 22LLL, this damage A1, what room are we located in?
This is the bathroom on that same wall that shares the child's bedroom above the towel rack.
So on the direct other side of this wall, is that where the bunk beds were located?
Yes.
Now, 22MMM, I'm placing on the LL. Is this the same bathroom that we were just looking at in the previous photo?
Yes.
Now, next to damage A1, again, it looks like we have a ruler. Would you agree with me that damage A1 is about 4 feet, 11 and a half or so inches?
Yes.
We're looking at 22NNN. What are we looking at in this photo? We see a ruler to the left of what?
This is showing the height of damage A3 in the shower wall.
Would you agree with me that the damage is right around the 4'10" to 11" marker?
Yes.
We're looking at 22000. The green item that we see depicted in the middle of this photo, is that the trajectory rod that you were discussing with the jury earlier that we saw poking out of damage A1?
Yes, it is.
What's the purpose of documenting with the trajectory rod, specifically in this photo?
So this is showing the connection between the damage that I had marked at the yellow scale markers A.
Does using a trajectory rod in a situation such as this one, where the damage depicted shows it could potentially all be caused by one projectile?
Yes.
Projection speculation.
Overruled.
So in this case, what's depicted in 22-000, does damage A1, hold on, I have to, does the damage to the wall, the damage to the shower curtain, and the damage to the shower tile containing the projectile all match up using the trajectory rod?
Yes.
We're looking at 22PPP. We zoom out. What room are we in here?
This is the bathroom.
And we're looking at a marker entitled damage B2. Would you agree with me that the damage B2 looks like it encompasses 4 feet and between 9 and 10 inches?
Yes.
Just for the record, there's 2 bathrooms.
Yes.
Yes.
You
This-
said we're in the bathroom.
Yes,
Sorry,
ma'am. Thank you, Judge. The bathroom that we've been discussing all along with the damage.
Yes.
Is that all the bathroom that's directly next to the children's bedroom?
Yes.
Did you notice any damage whatsoever in the bathroom that would be right next to that, adjacent to the master bedroom?
No.
So, all along during your testimony, when we've been discussing a bathroom that has any damage to it, we would be talking to the bathroom where the wall is shared directly with the children's room.
Yes.
Okay. 22QQQ. Is this photo documenting the difference between the 2 damages on the wall?
Yes.
Damage A1 and damage B2.
Yes, and how far it is from the entryway door.
Okay, and so on the right where this 1 starts, is that where the door would be open?
Yes.
22RRR, I'm placing on the Elmo. Take us back. What room are we in again?
The children's bedroom.
The photo depicted, we see a mattress and bed railings. Are we looking at the top bunk or are we looking at the bottom bunk?
The top bunk.
The damage that we saw, we see damage A and damage B. Are those the damage markers that we've discussed before seeing on the top bunk?
Yes.
Now, we see an item that is sticking out of damage A and an item right next to damage B. It's not going through damage B, but it looks like it's coming from behind the wall. Help us understand what those 2 items are. Let's start with the green one that's coming out of damage A.
That is the trajectory rod that we were discussing earlier.
That green trajectory rod that you said we were discussing earlier, is that the same exact trajectory rod that we saw depicted going through the damage into the children's bathroom, through the shower curtain, and into the tile?
Yes, it is.
That is the same exact rod we were looking at.
Yes.
What about, we see it looks like red or pinkish rod that we're looking at here. It's right next to the damage B marker, but it's not coming out of it. Help us understand that.
So this one is going into the hole in the wall. That would be damage B1.
Where is damage B1 located?
On the wall behind that railing.
Okay, so we're looking at 22SSS. Is that the same trajectory rod we just were looking at that goes from the children's bedroom into the children's bathroom?
Yes.
And we see a red substance on the right side as well. It looks like 22TTT refers back to, is this the children's shower that we were talking about, the green trajectory rod?
Yes.
And referring back to 22SSS, that's the same pole depicted in both. Is that your testimony?
Yes.
22UUU, what are we looking at here?
This is a bag, and on top of it is a holster, a box of ammunition, and a magazine.
Was that bag located right here when it was photographed?
No, it was not.
Where was it located before it was photographed?
That was in the children's bedroom closet.
So it was brought down from the closet so that you could take the contents out and photograph them?
Yes.
22 VVV, I placed on the Elmo. Where is this damage located?
This damage is where the projectile came from of the B2 in the bathroom that shares the wall with the children's bedroom.
We're looking at 22 WWW. What do we see here?
This is the bottom of the drawer that we saw earlier with evidence markers 13 and 14. This is once taking the clothing out, evidence marker 18 was placed.
What room is evidence marker 18 found in?
The master bedroom.
So the drawer that we saw before, is this the same drawer?
Yes,
So help us understand, you didn't see these items before because of why?
there was clothing on top of it.
Once you removed the clothing, you were able to see these and that's why you placed this evidence marker there?
Yes.
Tell us what exactly is depicted in this photo.
In this photo, there are loose live rounds at the bottom of this drawer.
And again, a live round is what?
A round that has not been fired yet by a gun.
22XXX. Is this just a closer up of evidence marker 18, those live rounds that you're discussing?
Yes, it is.
22YYY. What are we looking at in 22YYY?
That is the head stamp of the live rounds that were in that drawer.
It looks, let's see, 22AA. I'm placing on the Elmo. What are we looking at here?
This is the Adidas bag that was at evidence marker 17.
Remind us, where was this Adidas bag initially located?
Initially in the master bedroom closet,
After it was taken from the master bedroom closet, where was it placed so that you could photograph it?
on the bed in the master bedroom.
Now, where are these photographs taking place?
These are taken back at the office at the crime scene section.
22BBBB. What are we looking at here?
This is that same bag just opened.
22CCCC. I'm placing on the Elmo. What are we looking at here?
These are now the contents I took out of the bag.
So it looks like in this photo, in the top middle, it looks like a computer mouse with some wiring. Is that correct?
Yes,
Then we see to the right of that, we see a zippered pouch right here. And next to that, it looks like another sort of pouch.
yes,
We see below that, looks like some plastic, or one plastic container of sorts. Is that right?
oh
It's
yes,
a plastic bag?
yes.
What's to the left of the plastic bag?
That is a magazine.
A magazine. What's to the left of the magazine?
Ammunition box,
What's to the left of that?
batteries,
Now we're going on what would look like the third row. We see a box of metal objects that have a point to it. What are those?
those are also an ammunition box,
What's inside of the ammunition box?
live rounds,
To the right of that, we see what looks like a rectangle of something. What are those?
live rounds as well.
To the right of that, we see another rectangle. And for the record, the one to the left that she just described was more, what color would you call that, silver?
Yes,
The one to the right, what color would you say those were?
more gold,
And what are those gold things?
also live rounds.
Now, next to those gold live rounds, we see 3 items next to each other. They look similar, but they're different lengths. Tell the jury what they are.
They are magazines,
Magazines for what?
a gun.
We look next to that and we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 boxes. What are those?
Those are ammunition boxes.
Later, do you open up those ammunition boxes and photograph the contents inside of those other 7 ammunition boxes?
Yes,
Below that, that looks like a cell phone, is that correct?
yes.
What's to the left of that? It looks like something on its side, I can't tell.
I think that is a magazine as well.
Okay, and to the left of that, we see 1, 2, 3, 4 items on the bottom of the page. What are those?
Casings,
Casings. There's 1 silver item above that. What is that?
also a casing.
There's 1, what color would you call that? gold item above
gold.
that. It looks like actually there's 3 of them. What are those?
Also casings.
To the left of that, we see an orange item that is like a U in nature that looks like it has 2 little silver keys on it. What is that?
A lock of some sort.
Above that, what are we looking at right here?
I'm not sure what that is.
Okay. And to the left of that on the far left bottom corner, it looks like a circle with something coming out of that. What is that?
It's used to hold ammunition, live rounds.
So let me exit all the way. 22 DDDD. Is this a closer up view of the contents of those boxes we just discussed?
Yes, it is.
And remind me again, what are those?
Live rounds.
22 E. We see that circle item that has something coming out of the top. What are we looking at there?
These are the live rounds that came from that circular device.
So when you photographed the circular device the first time, we didn't see those silver items up top. Did those come from within the
Yes.
circular item?
Yes, they did.
Okay, and Judge, may I have a moment to hand this to my co-counsel to put back in order, please? We have just a moment, Judge.
Yes.
May I retrieve scissors, please? And Judge, what's been entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 9, do I have permission to publish?
Yes?
And if you want to step down for me? We need. There's some right there. State's Exhibit 9. The shell casing that you got from the bottom bunk, do you remember when you were discussing that with the jury?
Yes.
If you don't mind standing right over here so that they don't see you. If you don't mind removing that, if you look at the label, this is the shell casing that was taken from the bottom bunk, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and we saw a picture of that earlier, correct?
Yes.
Don't mind removing that shell casing. And do you mind putting it on Elmo so they can see? So, orient us again. We walk into the children's bedroom. On the bottom bunk, we find this spent shell casing.
Yes.
Okay. Will you put it back in for me? Now, State's Exhibit 10. Do I have permission to publish?
Yes, everything that's submitted you can publish.
Thank you, Judge. State's Exhibit 10 was found on the top bunk, correct?
Yes.
So if you recall, the photos of the blue blanket, and there were 3 shell casings found on the blue blanket, correct?
Yes.
And this is one of them. Can you put it This is 10, sorry. Oops, sorry. We're looking at states 11, which was another one found in the top bunk.
Yes.
Thank you. Looking at states 12. We're double bagged, sorry. You can reach in and get it. So this is also from the top bunk on that blue blanket. States 13, the last one from the top bunk. And when you see me opening all of these envelopes, you'll understand why are they packaged this way.
So the second packaging, the first packaging is me, we package it and sign it to show that it's our evidence.
And does it have labels on it too, so that they know and can keep track of where everything is and what it is?
Yes,
So states 13 that we're looking at right now, this is the last of the casings that were found at the top bunk on that blue blanket, right?
yes.
Let me walk this one. Now, the next item that we look at, when you were in the master bedroom, we saw pictures of that silver dresser. We saw a wallet next to one of the evidence markers.
Yes.
Here, you have gloves on. Can you pull it out? Is this the wallet that you
Yes.
took into custody?
Yes, it is.
Can you open it? Oh, sorry. We're way too zoomed in. Okay. That's states 15. You can put that back in. States 17. I'm opening. The bathroom that we were discussing that had all of the damage was only in the children's bathroom. The projectile that was located in the shower tile, did you collect and take that into custody?
Yes, I did.
There's too many envelopes, hold on. Here. Okay. Can you get the tape open or do you need my, there you go. Hold on, I'm just gonna zoom in. Okay. States 18. I'm now opening, I'm gonna back to the shower with damage, children's shower. There was a point on the wall that we saw photos of where the drywall was removed so that you could collect what was inside.
Yes.
It was a projectile that you found inside, correct?
Yes,
I think that was the photo that we looked at where we could see your hand in the photo.
yes.
And you open what's inside of stage 18 to show the jury what was found inside of that wall. Perfect. States 19. We're looking at, you talked about the bottom bunk bed, or the mattress that you moved to the bottom to collect projectile from the mattress. Was that item seized and collected?
Yes.
Let's see, if you can put that on the Elmo for me, so that the jurors can see what came from that mattress. I just zoomed in for the record. I'll take that back. Thank you. The only other thing I want to clarify, the wallet. You take the package out, sorry. Sure. Can you open up the wallet and take out the ID from the wallet? So that the jurors can see whose ID was contained within the wallet. For the record, the witness pulled out a Florida driver's license. I'm zooming in on it. It says Jermaine Bass Jr., and it's showing the defendant's photograph. That's from the wallet that was found next to the firearm in the silver drawer, correct?
Correct.
I think I need you to stay right here for the next item. I may just have a moment, Judge. Do we have? Can we approach just briefly, Judge?
Sure.
Okay. The last thing we talked about was the drawer where, in the silver dresser, master bedroom, you find the wallet, you also find the firearm. Did you collect the firearm?
Yes.
This has been entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 16. I have permission to publish, can you help me open? So the firearm that you found in that silver drawer, we saw an evidence marker in the photo next to it. Is this the firearm that you collected from the Heritage Grove townhouse that day?
Yes.
Pardon? The box is open. Was it made safe already? Yes. All right.
Can we decide? Now,
with the zip tie.
Place it on the elbow for me. So, now that state 16 is on the Elmo, we see a zip tie, on the top that goes, through, it looks like where a projectile would come out.
Correct.
Does that help make it safe?
Yes.
What about the bottom one? What is that helping you to do? The bottom
That-
zip tie?
That is zip tying, the trigger area, and it attaches the firearm tag.
There is another item inside. Can you pull it out so the jury can see, please? So the firearm has been placed on the Elmo. Now we're placing what looks like, tell the jury what is, the item you just placed on the Elmo.
A magazine.
Can you hold it up so that they can see how many, bullets can be put inside of it? Here, you can do it.
Oh.
So you just placed the magazine on its side, and we see that it has, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes on it. Okay, we can put it back in the box, thank you. You can take your seat, thank you.
Thank you.
You're right. We have just a moment, Judge.
Yes.
And Judge, if I may just have a minute, I need to put gloves on as well for this item. I'm gonna need you to step back.
Oh.
So I want to direct your attention to the top bunk of the children's bed. You showed us in photos, and then you showed us the 3 casings that were found on the children's top bunk. Just now, we saw that they were marked with evidence marker 8, 9, and 10. We just saw them on the elbow. We discussed how they were on top of a blue blanket. Do you recall that?
Yes, okay.
So this is what's been entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 14. We're gonna go ahead and open this item. The blue blanket that we've been discussing and that we saw photographed with the shell casings and the evidence markers on top of it, was that item taken into evidence and preserved?
Yes.
So there's one item in here. Yeah. For the record, I opened an item contained within, states, I think 17. Evidence marker. I'm holding a pillow that has red substance on it. Is this the pillow that was located on the top bunk?
Yes.
Where the rest of, the evidence markers and items were located?
Yes.
There's another item located within this exhibit. that I'm going to pull out. George, do you mind if I use that tabletop to help place this on while I open it?
Well,
There's like a
whatever
desk
the
right
bailiff
there.
wants, whatever the bailiff wants you to do.
Thank you. top of the bed,
Yes,
where those evidence markers and shell casings were located.
yes,
Looks like it's a Batman
yes.
blanket. One more item comes from evidence. Is this the other blanket that was located on the top bunk where you located the shell casings with those markers that we saw in the photos?
Yes.
And, that you showed on the elbow?
Yes.
Looks like it's a Star Wars blanket with the red substance. You have just a moment, Judge.
Yes.
Judge, if I may just have a moment, you can take your seat to just repackage.
Mhm.
Thank you. Judge, if you don't mind, my co-counsel is going to help me, repackage. I just have a couple of other questions.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna come around this way. States 28 through E, they've already been put into evidence.
What number?
It states 28A through E.
All right.
I'm placing on the Elmo, states 28A. The damage and the red substance we're looking at in this photograph, where is this from?
This is the child's bedroom on the wall that the bunk bed was on.
So at some point, it looks like in this photo, the bunk bed has been removed out of the wall. Was that for this photo?
Yes,
So the bunk bed has been moved so that you could see the wall better?
yes,
In one of the photos we were looking at earlier, we were discussing the trajectory rods. You talked about the trajectory rod that we said was like red or pinkish in color. Is this the one that you were referring to that you and I were discussing before?
yes.
Now, the damage that was done to the railing that was up against the wall, is that coordinating with this damage B1 or is this separate?
It is separate. At the time, I thought it was coordinated, but it is separate.
Okay, so, and is the point of the measurements of the wall, help us understand, we've seen other things before, but why place these measurements here, for these three items?
So this method that we call T-scaling, we basically go across from the entrance of that bedroom across and then down. It just gives you a height of all three of these areas. It shows you the damage, how high it is, and how far across it is, as well as that red substance.
I'm looking at, 28B, I'm placing it on the Elmo. We see the scale here for damage A. Tell me how, far off the ground damage A is.
This is about 5 feet 6.5 inches.
We're looking at 28C, I just placed on the Elmo. Help us understand the purpose of the measurement of this photo.
This is showing the height of the top of the bunk bed from the ground up.
How tall is the top portion
About 5 feet, 5 inches.
I'm placing 28D on the Elmo. What are we looking at here in this photo?
This is the wall that the bunk bed was originally on, however, now the bunk bed has been moved away from the wall, and now you can see those T-scale scales on the wall.
We're looking at 28E. Is this just a closer up of the measurement we did earlier for the height of the bunk bed?
Yes.
Let me just have a moment to hand this to you quick, please. Can I just have a moment to confirm?
Yes?
I don't have any questions at this time, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I need to return scissors.
Cross?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you, Miss Bader?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing all right, thank you. You're a crime scene technician at the Sheriff's Department?
I am.
Been doing that for quite a few years, correct?
Correct.
And you're not sworn law enforcement, but you are a civilian employee?
Correct.
Okay. All right, just pretty much your involvement in this case going to be limited to a lot of the things that you've discussed with Miss Reader.
Yes.
Right, so you basically were the main processor in the home, downstairs, staircase, and upstairs as well.
Yes.
Okay. And did anybody assist you at the time that you were doing all your work?
My partner, CSI Daniel Janisic.
She did a Pharaoh, right?
Yes.
And she did the diagram.
Yes.
Okay. And that's typical for you guys to divide up the work. You'll label, process everything, and she Pharaoh and diagram. That's typical.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So you've indicated that GSM is a red substance scale marker.
Yes.
Right. And then PM is a photo marker, just a photo marker. Is that item collected?
Yes.
It is, okay. And then YSM is a yellow scale marker. Is that just damage or is it an item collected as well?
Damage.
Just damage, okay. All right. First off, let's talk about phones. My understanding that there were 2 phones that you collected in this case, is that correct?
There were 3 or 4.
Oh, okay. So we have a blue iPhone that was found where?
The blue iPhone was on the couch downstairs.
Okay. And do you know whose phone that is?
No, I do not.
Okay. There was a red phone, looked like it was in a charger inside the children's room, correct?
Yes.
All right, so what are these other 2 phones?
There was the one that was evidence marker 15 that was in the backpack in the master bedroom. And then the Adidas bag, there was also a cell phone.
Okay, so there's 2 phones that are found in bags in the master bedroom. Do we know if those were even working, anything like that?
I do not know.
Okay. What, if anything, are you going to do with the blue iPhone that was on the couch?
Collect it, put it into evidence.
All right, any other processing would be done, downloading, things like that, by other people?
Correct.
All right. And did you ever do anything with a phone identified as belonging to Shirley Bass?
I do not know.
The phones you have mentioned, the one blue iPhone on the couch and the red phone upstairs in the kids' room. We have the 2 that are in either an Adidas bag or a backpack in the master bedroom in the closet. Is that the extent of any phones in this case?
Yes.
All right. All right, I want to go downstairs real quick. You have a green scale marker, A and B. A was a red substance on the living room floor,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
All right. And green scale marker B was on the living room couch.
Yes.
Okay. And did you know that Mr. Bass was sitting on that couch with his son?
No.
Okay. Basically, you're not that privy, nor are you told a lot of facts. You're there to document the scene.
Correct.
Okay. Did you go upstairs?
Yes.
You do. All right. Now, you had marked a lot going up the stairs, correct?
Yes.
All right. And coming down as well?
Yes.
You saw anything else? Okay. If you are coming down that staircase, would you go near the area to get on the couch where you found green scale marker A on the floor? Here, let's put, all right, let us put states 22A. There we go. All right, so this is our green scale marker here.
Yes,
All right, and that is going to be green scale marker A, correct?
correct.
All right, and then we have, this is the couch we have been talking about, correct?
Correct.
And Miss Reeder showed you some chairs before. Those chairs are further down, separated from the main couch, closer to the glass slider. Is that fair?
Yes.
All right. Now, when you have, here again is my question, states exhibit, we just cited green scale marker A. The staircase, best way to do this. I'm gonna take my pen. Staircase is gonna be this way.
No,
Okay, where's the staircase?
the other way, kind of in front of that pink Jeep.
What is it?
The pink Jeep all the way in the back.
The pink Jeep?
Yeah,
Okay. So the staircase is
Is-
this way.
correct.
Gotcha, okay. So this substance that you saw down here in green scale marker A, it was near this couch that I am pointing to, which is the large couch with the evidence marker 1 on it.
Yes,
Okay. And when we say red substance A states 22B, just for the record, that's what we're speaking of, correct?
yes, correct.
What, if any processing did you do on red substance A besides take a photograph and measure?
I collected a swab from it.
All right. Are you the one to determine what swabs would need to be sent off?
No,
Okay. Did you do anything, is there anything you could have done to preserve possibly a shoe print or a footprint?
possibly.
Did anybody ask you to do such?
No.
All right, I want to talk about swabs that you took in the kids' room. From what everything that you testified to, it seems that on the top bunk itself, correct me if I'm wrong, the only real swab on the mattress itself would have been green scale marker O. Is that fair?
On the mattress itself?
On the mattress?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and get to that. While I'm going up the stairs, 22H states exhibit, yellow evidence marker 3. Is this the gauze that you're speaking of?
Yes,
All right. Do we know the significance at all of this gauze?
I do not.
And there was also a clip that was on the couch downstairs?
Yes,
Like a clip you would have like a bandage on and you would clip it.
yes,
Do you know why that was bothered to be collected?
I do not.
Okay, all right. Is somebody directing you what evidence to collect?
Yes,
All right. All right, so let's go back. If I put these out of order, you guys okay? All right, thank you. I'm trying not to, but. Let's look at this one. This is States Exhibit 22R. Okay, all right. And this, ooh, can't see it in that one. Hang on. Let's use this one. 22S. All right. Our green scale marker O is going to be, and I'm pointing to the green scale marker, the sole green scale marker that's on the mattress.
yes.
Got it. What are you actually documenting there? Are you documenting this stain, this stain, this stain? Is there a stain somewhere here I can't see? What stain are you documenting?
It's the pooling of blood above the green scale marker O.
Gotcha. So this area here?
Yes,
Okay, for the record, I am pointing between the green scale marker O and the pillow. Is that fair?
yes,
All right. I'm trying to stay in the same topics. All right. States 22Q. There are 3 red substances you're going to mark, and that is going to be L, M, and N, and that is going to be on the ledge, and the ladder that is near the more eastern end of the bunk bed, correct?
Correct.
Right. Now, there were some other blood stains, like for example, we can see one that is to, let's say, the part that's right above the staircase, if that's fair. We see a little drip there. Granted, there's gonna be maybe some other spots, but these are the ones that got marked. Is that fair?
Yes.
All right. When you got there, Miss Bader, in the same exhibit that's up, this comforter, am I looking here, and I'm pointing to the right item, is this the Mandalorian comforter?
Yes.
Star Wars?
Yes.
I wouldn't know that. And then you have like a softer, smaller one, that's gonna be Batman.
Yes.
And for the record, I'm just pointing to the one that's over to the left.
Yeah.
What processing at all are you going to do of the Batman blanket?
The Batman, I just documented any holes that I observed.
Okay, all right, no holes.
There was holes in it, but
Do you think it was holes potentially from projectile that you had to be concerned
I
with?
couldn't say that for certain.
Okay. And the Mandalorian comforter?
Same thing, I documented the holes that I observed, and I took a swab of red substance.
Okay. And we're gonna talk a little bit later, because I do understand you do some additional work in this case involving that Mandalorian comforter?
Yes.
All right, we'll get to that since it's later in time. We'll keep that picture here. All right, and then you marked Q and R, which were the two things that were onside the wall near the bottom bunk.
Yes.
Okay. Near where we saw the teddy bear.
Yes.
Okay. So in terms of L, M, and N, and then we have, let me go back for 1 minute. We had on the wall P, and here it is, States Exhibit 22R. I am pointing to P, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So besides L, M, and N on the ladder area and the ledge near the ladder, O, the one area on the mattress that you've told us is the area between the green scale marker and the pillow. We have P, which is the wall we just looked at, and Q and R are the ones below.
Yes.
Is that the extent of the green scale markers you did inside this bedroom?
No.
Okay. What other ones did you do?
There's the one on the floor,
Okay.
there's the two in the doorway, and then one on the pillow,
Okay.
which is the pillow that was on the ground.
The pillow on the ground, right? I think we looked at that earlier.
Yes.
The little spot, okay. All right. In terms of anything else on that mattress, more towards the east end, let me see if I can find. Did you collect, let me strike back since I have this, 22II. That is a pink blanket on the bottom bunk,
Yes.
near evidence marker 5, which is going to be a casing, is that correct?
Correct.
Right. Was this blanket collected?
It was not.
Did you do any processing on the pink blanket that's on the bottom bunk?
No.
(22KK). Is this the Mandalorian comforter that we are looking at in this state's exhibit?
Yes.
Okay. Now 8, 9, and 10, that's going to be 3 of the casings, correct?
Yes, correct.
And on top of the bed, we also have 6. So we have 4 casings on top,
Yes.
which are going to be 6, 8, 9, and 10. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Then we have the one on the bottom bunk, which is 5.
Yes.
All right. And what brands were these 5 casings?
There was Norma and Hornaday.
Norma and Hornaday. Okay, those are 2 different types of manufacturers?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to point now the best I can in the same state's exhibit. We have, for example, let's say I am in the northern part of the mattress. I am to the left of the Mandalorian comforter, and I'm pointing to some red spots on the bed. Was this swabbed at all?
No.
I am pointing over to some what appears to be red substance on the wall, which will be the east wall. Is that correct, Ms. Bader?
Yes.
And it's also going to be then for the picture to the right of the Mandalorian comforter.
Correct.
Did you swab that?
I did not.
I see some blood behind evidence markers 9 and 10 on the wall. Did you swab that blood?
I did not.
And do you know how this comforter came to be in this position as we see it when you documented it?
I do not.
When you were looking at that Mandalorian comforter, we just looked at some areas of blood that were not swabbed. Aren't there a couple of other areas on the mattress of some blood around the comforter, like where it's folded, it'll lay this way and there'll be a little spot, that there was some additional blood?
Yes.
Okay. And that wasn't swabbed either?
No.
And for the record, that's all going to be on the east end of the bunk bed, the other side from the pillow.
Correct.
All right. All right. Let's talk. Let's talk about the items in the children's room. A standard procedure to take a picture of the casing.
Yes.
You're then gonna take a close-up of it and all that, correct?
Yes, correct.
While I'm looking for that, I see another photo I'd like to ask you about, 22NN. We were just talking about some areas that were not swabbed. I see over here as well on the right side of the wall. Was that swabbed?
No.
And it looks like we can see a little bit clearer what's between 9 and 10 on the back of the wall above 9 and 10. Is that correct?
Correct.
And the same, that was not swabbed, correct?
Correct.
22RR. And of course, all these photos are taken right by you, correct?
Yes, correct.
There's an area here where we have the comforter under yellow evidence marker 11. I see some areas of blood here. The best I can describe is it's almost like I described earlier, in almost an area of a U shape where the comforter is going around it, semicircular. Do you see this area I'm speaking of?
Yes.
And it is near the back of the bunk bed, near the wall, near the frame. Was any of that swabbed?
No.
Okay. We can see some of the other red substance I was speaking of down on the lower right portion as well. This red substance here, was that swabbed to determine whose blood that was?
No.
Okay. Same photograph over here on the back ledge of the bunk bed, which is gray, up against the wall. We have an area right here. I am circling that. It is on the top ledge, just above, say, the right side of the comforter. Is that fair?
Yes.
All right. Did you swab that to determine whose blood that was?
No.
Okay. Over, say, an exhibit more towards the left of the comforter or more west, we have an area here I am circling. Was that swabbed?
No.
We're on the same exhibit as well. We're getting up more towards the west end over by where the pillow's gonna be. And we have this area here. That's gonna be below your damage B and your marker A, is that correct?
Yes.
Close, close in that area. All of this blood here, do you know whose blood that is?
No.
Did you swab that?
No.
Okay. There's also some other areas that I see. I am pointing to below that amount of substance. Still again to the west and to the left of the Mandalorian comforter, pointing it out for the jury. Was that swabbed?
No.
Okay. (22EEE). Is this the mattress in which was cut open to get the projectile out of it?
Yes.
22DD. Is that the mattress as you are taking the layers off to expose the projectile?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you have previously testified, have you not, and documented in your report something different than you testified here today. Is that fair?
Correct.
Okay. How did you find out that you had made a mistake?
I misspoke when I was writing mine because we did bring it down to the bottom bunk, so I misspoke to say what mattress that was.
No worries. So when we are looking at the two exhibits, which is 22 EEE and DDD, is the same mattress.
Yes,
This is the mattress that was on the top bunk
correct,
that you got the projectile out of.
correct.
Right. So when you testified under oath in your deposition and you wrote all throughout your report and property sheets that it was the projectile from the bottom bunk mattress, that was an error.
Correct, it was a misspokenness.
Okay, all right. Well, not just misspoken, it's in your reports too, right?
Right, but I'm
Right.
saying
Okay.
the mattress that was on the bottom bunk, that we brought down to the bottom bunk, but this was originally the top mattress.
Okay. Right. And you documented your property receipts the same way, correct?
Correct.
Projectile from bottom bunk mattress.
Correct.
Another picture here, 22 RRR. Talked about this a little bit ago. Blurry there. There we go. I am pointing to the area of red substance on the west side of the bunk bed in this photograph that is below yellow marker B. We see the rod, we see yellow marker A and green scale marker P. Is that right? All right.
Yes,
This large substance here, was any of that tested to determine what child was in that area?
no,
22 SSS, we talked a little bit about this earlier, but on the eastern side, or to the right of the photograph, this area of red substance, that was swabbed,
no,
okay? And no swab is done to determine which child's potential blood that may be, correct?
correct.
Right, all right, I found the photos. Okay. All right, so I want to talk now about what was recovered in the children's closet. Okay. I am going to show you what was marked for identification as Defense Exhibit 1. Ask you if you recognize this.
Yes,
Okay. And did you take that photograph?
yes, I did.
And you processed and collected some of the items that were in that photograph, correct?
Yes,
Your Honor, at this time, I would move Defense Exhibit 1 into evidence and ask to publish.
All right, it'll be received.
Thank you.
I don't have an objection to any of the photos.
Okay. All right. So Defense Exhibit 1, is this the closet in the children's bedroom?
yes.
And you located a purse. Give us an idea approximately, because I see a lot of things in the closet. Give me an idea where that purse is in this picture.
You can actually see the bag. It's that,
Okay. That item.
the brown suede.
Okay, let's say like right under the arm of what looks like a suede or leather jacket. Is
Yes,
that fair? Okay. Now, did you collect that purse?
the purse, no.
Why?
I was not instructed to do so.
Nobody told you to collect it.
Correct.
So, you don't know whose purse that even is.
Correct,
Now, there were some items inside that, however, you did collect.
correct.
States 22, UUU. Do you recognize that?
Yes,
Okay. Is that in fact the purse we were just speaking of with some items placed on top of it?
yes,
And for the record, marked by evidence marker 19.
yes,
Is that kind of marking everything in that photograph?
yes.
Right. So tell me what we're looking at in this photo.
This is the holster, there's a magazine, and a box of ammunition.
Now, that ammunition that we see here, just in case you need to refresh yourself, I have zoomed in on the state's exhibit. Please tell the jury what box of ammunition, what caliber, you view from that purse.
Norma 380 Auto.
And go ahead and tell us, Miss Bader, if you don't mind, what are these other two items? One looking a little gold and one black. What are these?
A magazine and a holster.
Do you know what type of firearm can fit that magazine?
I do not.
What, if any, processing did you do with the box of ammo, the holster, or the magazine?
I did not process that.
The firearm that you collected in this case was a .380, correct?
It was a Glock 42.
Glock 42. It's .380 caliber.
Yes.
Okay. States 22P. This is what we have kind of called the baby's bassinet. This was in the children's room,
Yes,
not too far from the bunk bed, correct?
correct.
All right. And it is evidence, yellow evidence marker 7. What am I looking at here, Ms. Bader?
It is a piece of a gun holster clip.
What does it do? What does that do?
I couldn't tell you.
Oh, okay. So you don't know if, like, you cover the gun with it or you cover the
I'm pretty sure
magazine?
it clips off onto a holster, but
Okay.
I'm not a gun expert.
Oh, that's okay. All right. And then we see next to it what looks like a piece of chicken that may have been eaten in some sort of, styrofoam bowl. Is that correct?
Yes,
All right. What, if any, processing did you do with this clip, would you call it?
yes.
Clip? What processing did you do with that clip that is found in the baby's bassinet, in a baby bassinet in the kids' room?
I did not process that.
And this is located, states 22C. It says C. That was located not far from the bunk bed, correct?
Correct.
You had mentioned earlier an area of blood on the floor. That's kind of an area in which first responders put Jayla down. Were you aware of that?
I do not know that.
All right. And then you had seen a drop or two on a pillow that was on the ground.
Correct.
Then there was some potentially, like on the door jamb and on the door coming in and out of this bedroom.
Yes,
All right. Okay, so do you collect the box of .380 ammo, the magazine, and the holster in evidence marker 19?
yes,
Okay, but not the purse.
correct.
Okay. Did you look inside the purse, inside the pockets to determine whose purse it was?
That was not my job.
Understood. Did Detective Hobelman have any involvement with this lady's purse and the items inside of it?
Not that I can recall.
Okay, all right. Does he have to like handle the ammo or anything like that?
No,
Okay, all right. So you were the one that collected it, well, not the purse, but the items inside, put it into evidence and do no processing on it. That would be you.
yes,
Under the direction of Detective Hobelman.
correct.
Okay. All right, so basically in this case, you had projectile, like a hole in the wall, which you marked as A, correct?
Correct.
And that's gonna be a yellow scale marker?
Yes,
Okay, so we had yellow scale marker A. That goes through the bathroom wall, which is gonna be marked A1,
yes,
okay? Then it goes through the shower curtain, which
yes,
is marked A2. And then A3, it ends up in the shower wall.
yes.
Okay? Now, that projectile was fairly damaged or squished, as we would describe it.
Yes,
Okay, do you know the caliber of that projectile as you sit here today?
I do not.
Okay. Now, in terms of B, the marking on the bed frame, there was green scale marker B.
Yes,
Oh, I'm sorry, yellow.
yes,
Okay, here, let me put a picture up. 22 RRR. And this is a good one because it's got the rod in it. So, damage B, because here's our A we just talked about, and our damage B. When you originally documented and spoke with us, did you believe that damage B went through and through the bunk bed?
When I originally documented it, yes.
All right. And so did Detective Hogelman, right?
Yes.
If you know. All right. So basically what damage B is, and I use the word nick or damage.
Okay.
It does not extend into the ledge here, and I'm pointing to the ledge above damage B, nor does that specific lineup go into the wall, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, so it's now labeled B, but then you have B1 and B2 that you originally labeled with Detective Hogelman, correct?
Correct.
Right. B1 was believed to be a hole behind the wall, which I see here with the rod,
Yes.
right? Okay, all right. So originally, you guys thought that B had went through the bunk bed into the hole, which would be B1, and then into the wall in the bathroom, B2.
Correct.
All right. You then later determined at some point that B is unrelated to B1 and B2.
Yes.
Okay. Same photograph still up. Again, that rod here. Am I presuming then that where that goes into is going to be the hole in the wall and it'll be now B1?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And coming to rest, 22 VVV, is this the area in which you were able to recover that projectile?
Yes.
All right, how is the condition of that one, which is B1 and B2?
Good.
Much better than the other one?
Yes.
Okay. Besides the projectile in the mattress and the projectile, the two from the bathroom, any other projectiles anywhere near the children's room or into the bathroom?
No.
Okay. And the children's bathroom, or the side bathroom, not the master, that's going to be on the wall behind the children's bunk bed, right?
Yes. Correct.
Master bedroom. You were talking a lot about items found in the master bedroom. Let's talk about that. First of all, you did not find any blood or any damage in the master bedroom, correct?
Correct.
Now, you collected quite a bit in the master bedroom. Let's go over that. One thing you collected was on top of the dresser in the master bedroom, and that was a live round of a 9mm Luger.
Yes.
Okay. Now, so it's not a .380 caliber.
Correct.
All right. And in fact, you can't shoot a 9mm bullet in a .380, correct?
That's not up for me to determine.
All right. We'll check with other people later. All right, next. S&W Mag R spent casings in the Adidas bag. Does that sound correct?
Yes.
All right. So spent, what does that mean, Miss Bader?
That means the bullet has been fired.
So maybe somebody went to a gun range and brought the casings home?
It's possible.
I don't know, something like that. All right. S&W Mag R, are those like rifles? Is that a shotgun? Is it just a larger caliber? What is that?
I do not know.
All right. You collected that?
Yes.
All right. And in fact, that's what we saw where you had a piece of brown paper down and you had all the items from the master bedroom on that.
Yes, correct.
All right. Also in the Adidas bag was 9mm Lugal toll ammo, again, spent casings. Does that sound correct?
Yes.
All right. Also in the Adidas bag, we had 9mm Luger toll ammo, NFCR spent casings. Does that sound correct?
Yes.
All right. Then we had 9mm Luger loose live rounds in that same dresser.
Yes.
All right. So it looks like there are no items in the master bedroom that are of .380 caliber, correct?
Not that I can recall.
Okay. The only .380 caliber was the items in the purse in the child's bedroom closet.
As far as I know.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know you answered. I apologize, I looked away. All right, did you have any information or were you aware that Mr. Bass has a permit to carry concealed?
I did not know that.
Okay. Would that involve anything in which you were processing?
No.
Okay. Now, we have 2 adults that live in that house and share that master bedroom. Can you tell us all of these items that are not .380 caliber, that you collected from the master bedroom, do they belong to Mr. Bass, Mrs. Bass? Do we know?
I couldn't tell you.
And do you do any processing of all those items that are found in the master bedroom? Besides the gun?
No.
Okay. Covering stuff, give me, look at my notes, I don't wanna have to repeat things I've already asked you. Now, the damage that we talked about a little bit ago in the bathroom, where we have the B1 and B2, and then we have the A1, 2, and 3, you cannot say for sure that is related to this incident, correct?
Correct.
But you have to document what you see, correct?
Correct.
The shower curtain, in which was part of projectile A, I believe it was A2, where it had went through the shower curtain, was there an accompanying hole there?
Yes.
Was it collected?
Yes. The one of the A3 you're talking about? Yes.
Mhm. Okay. Was the shower curtain collected?
No.
Okay. The magazine clip that we looked earlier, I may have asked you this, let me know. The magazine clip in the baby bassinet, you wasn't quite sure how it was used, correct? It was in the pink bassinet. No swab, no prints done, nothing on that, right?
Correct.
Yeah. You did attempt to lift prints off the firearm that you located, the .380 caliber, or Glock 42, inside the drawer of the master bedroom, is that correct?
That's correct.
Are you able to lift any prints?
Yes.
Or take photographs?
Photographs, yes.
Okay. Do you know any results?
I do not.
And you do not handle that, correct?
Correct.
All right. Now that Glock 42, which is a .380 caliber, you did swab it for potentially DNA.
I did.
Did you note any red substance at all on it anywhere?
Not that I can recall.
And what areas of that Glock 42 did you swab?
It would have been the grip and the trigger, the slide and the sights, the barrel, and the magazines.
Okay. Typically to do if you have a firearm?
Yes.
I'm going to talk about now defense. Let's start with this. Defense 2A and B. Okay. Defense 2A. What am I looking at here, Miss Bader?
This is an interior view of the front door.
Okay. And I see some potential red substance on that. What, if anything, did you do with this potential red substance that is on the back of the front door?
I photographed it.
Okay. This area down here, did you potentially note any pattern potentially for fingerprints?
No.
Okay. You didn't note any pattern, or you tried, couldn't get any?
I did not note.
All right. There was in fact also some red substance on the door handle itself, correct?
I do not recall that.
All right, we have defense 2B. Just a close-up photo, more closer photo you also took.
Any objection to their admission?
Oh, she had said no.
All right, they'll be received.
Sorry about that, Judge.
That's all right.
All right, we have some area down here as well that we can see better in defense 2B. Does that appear to be red substance?
It's a discoloration.
And these are the other 2 areas. Were you able to, you didn't swab these?
No.
Okay, why not?
To me, it was discoloration on the other side of the door.
Okay. Discoloration, but we do not know because you did not take a swab, correct?
Correct.
Defense 2C. What am I looking at here, Miss Bader?
This is the back sliding glass door.
Okay. I am looking at this child's, what appears to be a child's like car toy that's pink, and it says sunshine on it. Do you see that?
Yes.
All right. There's some red substance, I don't know what it is, right here in this area. For the record, I'm taking my pen and I'm just circling a little area of some red here on the child's car. Do you see what I'm speaking of?
I do.
Okay. Was that processed at all?
No, looking closer at it did not determine to be paint.
but you did not swab it, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And this is the sliding glass door, so it's much further down the living room from the couch.
Yes,
Okay, all right. Because we had the couch first, and then we had the chair that had the 2 seats.
yes,
Then we had the child's toy.
yes.
All right.
All right, C will be admitted.
I don't have anything.
Just checking my notes, Miss Bader. Bear with me. All right. So let's talk about some work that you did in March of 2024. What were you asked to do in March of 2024?
I was asked to examine the Mandalorian blanket as well as the Batman blanket, and I was swabbing a area on the Mandalorian blanket.
Okay. And why were you swabbing an area? What were you swabbing it for?
I was swabbing a red substance that I had done a phenolphthalein test on, which tested positive for the presumption of blood.
Well, you did more than that, didn't you?
I took photographs.
Okay. Didn't you swab or look for possible GSR?
I did.
Okay. So when you have the Mandalorian comforter, how many areas did you test phenolphthalein for potential blood?
In this one, I was requested for the area number 6.
Okay, area number 6?
Yes.
Right. And who was marking those? Were you marking areas at the scene, or is that done later?
It's done later.
Okay, do you do it back at headquarters?
Yes,
Okay. All right, so you had a positive on area 6,
yes,
right? Took a swab for DNA,
yes,
took photographs.
yes.
Right. Now, in terms of possible GSR, tell us about the camera that you used and the light source to try to bring out the GSR.
Sure, so I used 2 cameras. One was called a Fuji IR, which only deals with IR, which is how you're able to see possible gunshot residue. And then we have a Crime Light Auto, which is basically a newer version of technology that is also able to have the IR filter, and you could see it through that as well.
Okay. So you took how many are you going to take swabs, or are you just going to
No.
have these photographs?
Just photographs.
All right. So do you know the results as to whether there was any GSR on the Mandalorian comforter?
I do not.
Okay. And Ms. Bader, was it the Mandalorian comforter and the Batman blanket?
Just the Mandalorian.
Okay. And who had you do all this extra work?
That was a request by Detective Clay Holbman.
Hobelman? Okay. And I know it goes without saying, but what is GSR?
Gunshot residue.
Okay, and that's residue that may be left if a gun is shot or a person's holding a gun or in the area of a gun.
Yes, correct.
Were you asked to do anything else to test for GSR in this case?
No,
You don't do anything with Miss Jermaine Bass herself, correct?
no,
And you don't attend the autopsy?
no.
Okay. May I have a moment, Judge?
Yes.
When we were talking about the processing on the Mandalorian comforter with the ultraviolet light, what does IR mean? Please tell the jury.
Infrared.
So there was 2 different things you did to try to see if you could visualize the GSR.
Yes, just 2 different cameras.
And you collected a wallet at the scene,
Yes,
okay? And did you collect the items inside the wallet?
yes,
Okay. And inside the wallet, I think you saw a driver's license of Mr. Bass, is that correct?
yes, correct.
And in that wallet was his carry concealed permit for firearms. Do you remember that?
I do not recall.
Did you take photographs of everything inside the wallet?
Yes.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor. Oh, sorry.
All right.
Defense counsel was asking you about some of the other live rounds that were found in the master bedroom. And she asked you, you wouldn't be able to determine who they belonged to. Do you remember that?
Correct.
And you agreed with her they could have belonged to the wife Shirley or the defendant. You remember that?
Yes, correct.
Now, along with the, opposing counsel kept calling it a women's purse, but the bag that was found in the children's bedroom, do you remember what it looked like? It was leather, and it looked like it had two, straps on it, like a backpack?
Yes.
So, would you be able to determine who the owner of that backpack was?
No.
So, you have no idea sitting here today, or when that backpack was found and you photographed, who owned it or who used it often, right?
Correct.
Would you have been able to determine from where it was found or the photographs that you took, who brought that backpack into the kid's bedroom and hid it in that closet?
No.
Now, when you take an item like a firearm into evidence and secure it and swab it, help us understand, do you swab the same areas every time for DNA?
With guns, typically, yes.
Tell the jury exactly where do you typically take swabs from on a firearm?
So with the guns, we take separate swabs. We'll do a grip and trigger swab, slide and sights, the magazine, and then the barrel.
Now, when you're talking about the slide and sights, I feel like grip is probably self-explanatory, the same with trigger. But when you're talking about slide and sights, help us understand what portion of the firearm are you talking about?
So the slide and sights, the slide is the top of the gun that you would pull back, and then the sights are the little dots on top that you use to help line up your shot.
So we have the slide, the sights, the trigger, and the handle. Specifically, what portion of the handle are we talking about here?
The trigger, the grip, sorry.
Of
repeat
the
that.
handle. What part of the handle?
Oh, the top part.
Okay. Now, you were shown several photos of the top bunk of the children's bedroom, and your attention was directed to several areas of red substance. Help the jury understand, as a crime scene investigator who has done this hundreds of times, how do you decide what area or what substance to swab and what area or what substance does not need to be swabbed?
So in certain areas, there can be a lot of blood in scenes, it depends. We have had blood, me specifically, I've had blood stain training that you are able to, I can't state what a specific blood stain is, but I could kind of tell what it is, and based on that, you determine which areas of substances from each area should be taken, not necessarily each blood swab.
When you are being trained on, to be a crime scene investigator, it's, help us understand, is it, like you can take an infinite amount of swabs per crime scene that you attend?
No.
Okay, help us understand, what are the parameters that you're given when you go to a crime scene and you're being instructed and taught during this blood stain instruction of how to swab and where to swab?
So we work with the crime scene detective, and we determine with them what areas of, because they also know more at the time than we do, and we just kind of walk through and determine the areas that are, that should be swabbed. Yeah. And then any areas back at crime scene is just kind of like how we process things, like the gun is typical of taking those areas to swab.
At one point, you were shown a picture of a pink and purple blanket that was located on the bottom bunk of the children's bunk bed. Do you recall that photo?
Yes,
It looks like a little girl's blanket.
yes.
Did you notice anything specific on that blanket, like shell casings on top of it or red substance on top of it?
Not that I recall.
So did you locate anything of evidentiary value on that blanket on the bottom bunk?
No.
May I have just a moment, Judge?
Yes.
I don't have any further questions.
Judge,
All right.
can I ask one quick question?
Sure.
I promise it's only one. This reader described the item that you found in the child's bedroom as a backpack. You, in fact, in your report and throughout your deposition, referred to it as a purse, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else? All right, you can step down, ma'am. Thank you. She released from her subpoena?
Yes, Judge.
We would ask that she just remain under subpoena.
All right.
She can leave.
Everybody good? All right, call your next witness. Approach the bench for a minute.
Our scene detective is next, and I think.
Start back, the lead detective is next. He'll probably be at least an hour for testimony and work another hour, or would you like to go home for the day? Don't worry, I won't ask you this very often, but we're just for timing purposes I didn't want to take a break if you really would prefer just to get an early start anyway. You want to go home early because of the traffic and everything? Or just a break? Let him go? All right, then we will. We'll go ahead and break for the evening and get started same time and place tomorrow, 8:45, meet the bailiff so we can start promptly at 9. No coming to any definite fixed opinions on what you've heard thus far. No watching the news media or have any discussions about the case. So have a safe trip home. Enjoy your a semi-early night because it won't happen every day. And then I'll see you back here at 8:45 tomorrow. Have a great night.
All rise.